Good morning. It's me, Gabby, the Gabb on, I guess this is the first week of September, Labor Day. Put away the white, get ready to go. My white's still out. And probably my favorite friend ever. Same business, but still favorite friend. Denise Michelson, now with the Colorado Restaurant Association. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's always so good to see you.
Well, if people don't remember, you were the food editor guru, 5280 magazine, and Switch Lives.
I did. It's so funny to think about. It's been 5 months that I've been at the CRA. And I'm sorry, there is a street sweeper going outside my window right now.
It's okay.
Just got a little loud. But no, it's been 5 months since I've been at the CRA, and it's so interesting to look at the legal side of restaurants and the business side of restaurants more than the, what does this food taste like and where should you go to eat? Now I'm trying to help all the restaurants survive.
Well, okay, me too. To me, that's what's happening now. And today, as opposed to talking food, let's talk about what's happening with the Denver and Colorado restaurant scene. And you are now, go ahead.
Well, no, it's just funny that our call, we planned this a couple of weeks ago, but just today, there was, new economic reports out that the jobs reports for August are not good. Fewer people accepted new work in August, and particularly in the hospitality industry, we're down, I think nationally, 41,500 jobs, and things had been ticking up. What's interesting is that if this was yesterday and we didn't have those numbers, I would have said, yes, it looks like the numbers are ticking up, but yet all of our restaurant operators are still telling us that they can't find workers. And that's because these statistical numbers lag. And so it looks like they're going up, but then you find out, oh no, wait, actually in August, fewer people than ever. We lost 41,000 jobs more than nationally. And we definitely felt that here.
Well, it's stated that even though there are all these jobs available, the people are not coming back to, they said, hospitality, restaurants, etc.
Exactly. No, they're just not. And that also includes hotels who are struggling mightily, and event spaces and casinos and, ski. And it's really, we're still fully in a crisis. And in fact, we surveyed our members in the spring, and then more than 90% of them said we are struggling to hire. Well, we surveyed them again at the end of July, and they said more than 91% were struggling to hire. So it's only getting worse, which is really awful, because we also found out that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go.
I'm a bad.
Because you go out, go. Because I want you to talk about, you go out and I go out. And the first thing you hear,
we'll get to that.
Is there's no help.
I know.
That's all.
And you see signs on windows too. You see, we are short-staffed. Please be patient. And I'm hearing some really unpleasant stories about people not being patient, about diners being really rude. I mean, the service might be slower. The prices have gone up. The prices
they're going
to food are skyrocketing. I mean, the cost, this sounds so funny that I always think about this. The cost of cooking oil, cooking fats has gone up, outrageously in the past year, which for you and I, how many bottles of olive oil do we go through? Maybe more than most, but still, one every few weeks, even a month. But think about if you're frying and cooking in oil at a restaurant, that's going to severely impact your food cost. And so, yes, menu prices are going up, and service might be slow because the poor servers on the floor are working, without enough team members, and they're running. And so they're, burnt out, and the cooks in the kitchen are definitely not working with enough coworkers. There are so many operators who are telling us that they are feeling more overwhelmed and more discouraged than they were even during the shutdowns, because they have more debt, they have shorter, smaller teams. The cost of everything has gone up. We asked that question. Do you think the cost of operations has gone up? it was it was a pie chart, 100% blue, as in yes. Every single person who responded to our survey said, yeah, the cost of everything has gone up. Labor, food were the top two. And so these operators are just looking at a landscape that feels very bleak, which is really sad.
Well, but it is. I was at Barolo Grill at a private party. It was a meeting, a roundup meeting of something. Guess who our waiter was? Ryan Fleming, the owner. He was the waiter, clearing plain old waiter for 20 people.
I was at Coperta last weekend, and it was a wonderful meal. I mean, God love them. It was absolutely delicious, and the service was great. But the owners were, JP was behind the bar, Aileen was serving, waiting tables, Paul was seating people, the chef was cooking, and then walking out and seating people. Like, they're all just doing everything.
Right. And no, everything is wonderful, but come on. Yeah. If you go to the grocery store, they bring your own bag so you don't have to pay a dime. Yeah. My $60 bag I can carry with one hand. I mean, come on.
You're very strong.
Oh, God. Okay, so it's not very heavy. Okay, so tell us what you think about everything with all these. I mean, you want to go into where they're spending money, what's happening, their ideas.
Yeah, I mean, well, so one thing we wanted to make clear to people was that even though restaurants look really busy, right?
They're in debt.
You might think, oh, restaurants are fine. Like, look how busy they are, and I'm going out again. Yeah, no, they're in debt. And not only that, there was a national survey that said that 19% of adults have stopped going out to restaurants in the recent weeks because of the Delta variant. So there's just this perfect storm of all these things coming at restaurants. And yet at the same time, to be a restaurant worker, this is like an amazing moment of opportunity. If you want to work in restaurants, or you did,
okay,
then you can make more money than ever.
Okay, explain to me why not.
Because you're going to make more money than you ever have before. Like, wages have gone up 19% on average. So you're going to make a great salary. Everybody is so happy to see you. I mean, you're going to work hard. Everyone always works hard in restaurants, but there are jobs. You can work just about anywhere you want. You can make more money. And now there's all these things that everybody has always complained about the restaurant industry. There's paid time off, and there's benefits, and people are adding medical and vision and dental insurance.
I get a job if they take an old lady.
No, people have told me, like, will you just come and, help us with the dish pit? Will you come? Well, anyone could walk in and work.
But honestly, this as an aside, I see all this. I agree with all this. Why don't the people, if you're listening or not, why don't you go get a job? I don't get it.
I think it's really complicated. I mean, my son just went back to school, but he gets out at 3:00 and there's no after school yet. And so, there's a lot of people that have childcare issues. Maybe their kids aren't in school, or they're quarantined, or you have health issues. I mean, Delta is still raging.
Right.
And so, yes, lots of people have been vaccinated, but, some people haven't, and you're dealing with all these customers, and Delta is more contagious. I think there's a lot of worries. And so, unemployment ends today, right? In Colorado. Doesn't really, or maybe I guess the last payments are sent out tomorrow. I don't think that has much to do with it. In states that ended unemployment early, they didn't see a huge swell of, people coming back to restaurants.
See, I agree with that. I think some people say it's going to change. I don't think so. I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I think there are so many concerns right now about going out to work, working with the public. I think they're unfounded. I think not unfounded. I think what people forget is that restaurants were safe spaces before the pandemic, because who cares more about their customers or their staff getting sick than restaurants?
They have to.
So restaurants are trained to keep people safe food-wise, food safety-wise, sanitation-wise. I mean, restaurants are very safe spaces, and no one has ever put out data that said that you're going to be more likely to catch COVID at a restaurant as a worker than anywhere else. Certain thing about Costco, think about, any other place, a mall, think about any other place where there's, a large public gathering. But people are very nervous. And even though restaurant, schedules are flexible, it's tricky right now. People have a lot of other worries. And then also housing. I mean, there was a story on the news yesterday about in Telluride, a woman shut down her coffee shop, not because she wanted to, but she was so short-staffed. And she said, honestly, they were so busy all the time with all the tourists. It just wasn't, the business she had intended to open for the community. There's a lot going on.
Oh, I agree.
Crazy moment.
And if people are somewhat worried about going to restaurants, I've seen a lot of restaurants now where the staff is wearing masks again.
Oh, completely.
And
most of the ones I know, they're back in masks.
And I mean, it's their choice too. Yeah.
And I know many that are requiring vaccines for hiring. You have to be vaccinated if you're going to be hired. I know.
And what do you think?
They have to keep themselves safe.
And what's going to happen when they decide that you're going to have to prove you're vaccinated, like in Danny Meyer in New York? I mean, you're going to lose interest.
Well, you're going to lose some customers and you're going to gain others, right?
You'll gain me. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So I think that's, up to every operator. We're talking to our board about it. We've been asking our members about it. But again, we represent thousands, I think 6,000 restaurants across the state. At the moment, operators are making their own best decisions.
I was going to say, can you help in deciding this?
I mean, all we can do is provide information, right? And we can make sure that everybody is completely informed and knows exactly how to be in compliance with the law, but there are no laws and there are no public health orders at the moment in Colorado that say that restaurants have to do anything. They are going to follow their own best practices, which is typically how Colorado works. Polis, got rid of a lot of those mandates, back this spring, and I don't see them coming back to them unless things continue to get markedly worse.
Oh yeah.
But again, no one ever was able to, there was no data that there were massive outbreaks in restaurants. That was not true. Schools are more of a worry at this point than restaurants.
And they can't vaccinate the little kids yet, so that makes it a double worry. But
my son's 11. I'm just waiting.
I would have him in line on the day of his 12th birthday. Come on, honey.
Before then.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Have it before then.
I did hear today that Boulder is requiring masks again, every place indoors as of today. So
I know they were having a meeting about that earlier this week. So
but
that's going to affect restaurants too.
Yeah, as a person as a representative of the Colorado Restaurant Association, me, just because I really care about all these guys, people like us, I just think we have to encourage people to please know that go back out and support these people or they're going to go out of business.
Absolutely. And when you're out supporting them, be patient and be kind. We're actually working on some billboards right now, reminding people in downtown Denver about that. Yeah, because I've been reaching out to all of our local advertisers and saying, restaurants need help and what can you do for us? And almost to us, every single phone call, everybody is so happy to help. And we're working on, designing billboards and trying to spread the message that, kindness and compassion, which were at a, height in the middle of the shutdowns. Everybody was so worried about restaurants. And I know everyone is so fatigued and exhausted, but it can't stop. We have to keep that going and we have to
absolutely
be kind and empathetic. Yeah.
And understand that if you were eating at home, it's still going to cost you more money than it did 4 months.
Groceries are up too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No matter what it is.
Everything is more expensive. And the truth is, eating at a restaurant is a luxury,
It
we
always
are very
was.
used to these. And we're used to these deflated food prices.
Right.
And we've gotten very spoiled. But
Right.
the true cost of food has not been represented on menus for years. I mean, we have all been underpaying for years. So, you know, it's, the chickens are coming home to roost in that respect.
I still like chicken. It's okay. And I mean, I think we've really tried to say, please, they are struggling, support them. And
Absolutely.
so on a lighter note, have you been going out?
I have a little bit here and there. Like I said, I went to Coperta last weekend. It was phenomenal and wonderful. We're going to go to Satchel's on 6th tonight.
Oh, I was
which
there
we're
a
excited
few
about. I
weeks
haven't
ago.
been there in years. Oh, where
Oh,
you?
really? Well, it was
I haven't been in so
really
long.
good.
I can't wait.
I know we
Yeah, I'm
hadn't,
excited.
well, I hadn't been since before COVID,
Mhm.
but
Oh, me neither.
we were there at the bar, of course, and it was just delicious. Fun little place.
Oh, that's nice.
And
you know, another thing can I say one other thing too?
no,
I
you
totally
can say
forgot. I almost forgot. You're so sweet. So we had sad news is that, you know, the Denver Food and Wine Festival, which usually happens at the end of this month,
right.
we canceled the grand tasting because it, you know, is usually 4,500 people. And it was going to be outside and all that, but it just didn't seem like the right thing to do.
Work.
So we postponed that till next year, fingers crossed for 2022. However, what we are able to do safely is we're still having our dinner under the stars, which is a very magical, wonderful, you know, 5-course plated extravaganza, and it's a fundraiser, and all the proceeds go to the Colorado Restaurant Foundation, which helps restaurant workers. So, and it also helps like Colorado Pro Start students, these high schoolers that are in this, you know, culinary and management training program, which is a funnel to help the industry, right? These young people are learning skills now so they can go directly into the industry, which they love and they're passionate about. So we're having this wonderful fundraising dinner on September 30th.
Thank you.
Yep, September 30th, the Denver Performing Arts Complex, you know, at the Ellie Calkins Opera House. And I am so proud of the lineup. We have Paul Riley, he'll be representing Apple Blossom, his new restaurant coming to downtown this fall. We have Ta Tran from AC Serve. We have Dana Rodriguez from all of her wonderful places, Super Mega.
You have no idea.
Everyone knows.
I have just done 2 charities. Who was the first one there? Was Dana. I mean, I call her.
That's the thing. She was like the first one to say yes to us too.
I mean, that woman
Matsuhisa
should be to scream someplace. Go ahead.
The queen.
Yeah.
Well, we also have Matsuhisa, and then we have the wonderful chefs at Kevin Taylor Restaurant Group. So it's going to be 5 extraordinary courses, past hors d'oeuvres and cocktails out on the plaza. And then we're going to go inside, but not downstairs, inside the Opera House, just on the main level with all the doors open. And we're requiring proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test because the DCPA complex is. So we're going to have a very safe, wonderful 5-course dinner to raise money for restaurant workers, September 30th. And it's $195 per ticket. It is not cheap, but it's a fundraiser.
And is it include tax and every tip and everything or no?
Yeah, you can buy the tickets online. There might be a couple little fees, but it's not.
Well, I'm just trying to tell you to advertise.
Of course. No, yeah. And it's, and again, it's for a really good cause, and it's denverfoodandwine.com if anyone would like to buy tickets.
No, I think that's great. No, listen, and I think you're going to find this very interesting because I've just done 2 huge charity events and very worthwhile, of course, to me causes. There's no bad cause. And both of them, the volunteers, restaurant people were incredible, but attendance and money making better than before COVID. I didn't think you'd have it. I don't think, people were spread out. Oh no, you weren't on top of each other. There were 1,200 people at these places, but not on top. And
ours is much smaller. We're hoping for 200. You know, it's a intimate for 200 person dinner.
Okay, well, be sure and say that. Okay.
Oh yes, 200.
But this was
total max.
These were outside. in huge
Well, and ours is
spaces.
very spread out. Yeah.
Okay, huge spaces. But I'm just saying, people will come and should
I
come.
love hearing about the generosity. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, to me, that's what makes it all. And I don't care, 50 million people, the generosity of our chefs and restaurant owners.
I know.
I
I
mean,
know.
I
And
just sit
their
there
time
and I
now,
want to
when they're so
cry
busy.
when I say this. Of course, I am emotional. However, they're fabulous. So,
They are.
and so are
They
you.
are.
So, well,
Who are you?
Oh, in the meantime, I can hardly wait to see you in person. And I hope
know.
people really take note of what you're saying and support people and understand that the restaurants still need our help a lot.
Our help and our empathy. Yes,
So
exactly.
how does somebody get to you? Say it again.
How does someone get to me?
Well,
Well,
don't call me at home.
I'll give you my email. I'm fine with that. Yeah, so I mean, I'm at the Colorado Restaurant Association, but then the dinner is denverfoodandwine.com if people want to buy tickets for that.
Okay.
And you can find me on Instagram, Denise Michelson. You can find me anytime.
I find you every day on Facebook and you find me. Anyway,
Yes,
but to everybody else, I want to just say thank you. Please like and subscribe to the Gabb on YouTube, where you'll see this whole interview as soon as I hang up from you, as well as Instagram, where you'll find both of us, and Facebook, where there's both of us as well. And to everyone, happy Labor Day weekend. Enjoy the holiday. I don't know what I will miss or see, but we'll all be around. Love you dearly. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Thank you,
so
everybody.
much.